My guest today won $3 million on Underdog Fantasy last year. He won Best Ball Mania 4 with a truly absurd lineup. He nailed basically every single league winner on this roster: Kyron Williams, Sam Laporta, Raheem Mostert, CJ Stroud. And today, I'm going to get him to spill his secrets for 2024 drafts. Who are his favorite targets, his favorite stack, his favorite structure, and his favorite sleepers? I'm Pete Overzet. This is the Deposit Kingdom. Let's welcome in the champ, Farid Shahid. We're here with the champ, Farid Shahid. We're going to find out all of his favorites in current drafts, how he's going to go back to back in Best Ball Mania. How are we doing, Farid?
Doing good, man. It's good to see you. Good to be here, and I like this format that you got going on over here.
Yeah, man, I appreciate you doing it. And I know everyone's excited to kind of get inside the mind of the champ. Last year, you were very dialed in as you headed into draft season. You were clearly aware of what you were doing, who the risers were. You identified, so many sleepers. Like the back end of your draft that you won with was just like every perfect pick. So let's try to get inside your head and see what you're thinking right now. Let's start with your favorite structure. What are you looking to do in 2024 drafts?
My favorite structure is something called Flash Detour, and it's really just zero RB. A Flash Detour is like you get either a quarterback or a running back, and not a tight end. So you go in with a purpose of detouring from zero RB, but having five grown men at the wide receiver position by round six. I like the approach. I like the lineups that I get when I do that.
I know for a fact I want four wide receivers through round seven. Like I really don't like my teams if I don't have four. I feel a lot better when I have five. It sounds like you're saying you want to have at least five wide receivers through six, and you're basically saying I'll make one detour for a running back or quarterback. That's it.
I use this when I want only 6 wide receivers on my lineup, and I want them all to be grown men, and maybe the 6th guy is, maybe a safe play who still
Mm.
has a good spot on the depth chart. I can reach later on in the draft for those running backs I like.
So you mentioned quarterback and running back. Does this mean you're out on elite tight ends, or will you do an elite tight end detour?
No, I will do a lead tight end detour, but I like the running backs in that area more.
So it sounds like you are really prioritizing getting, maybe get a bell cow back in round one. Otherwise, I'm going to be getting pretty much always three wide receivers in my first three picks. And then I'll start entertaining running backs in four, five, and six. Let's transition to your favorite overall kind of player target, the guy you just get so stoked on that you think could have a league winning year.
I like AJ Brown and Jalen Waddle, but I'll go with AJ Brown, who I think, is mispriced a little bit.
This is fun because AJ Brown, for a couple of reasons, some random based on my draft lot and some by choice, me taking Garrett Wilson over him. He is actually my least drafted player in round one, and I'm kind of scared about it. Give me the selling point on AJ Brown. There was a lot of things last year. We saw Devontae Smith really come on strong. We saw that offense really struggle in general. AJ Brown had a great start to the year, but why are you willing to be so heavy on AJ Brown heading into 2024?
I like wide receivers that size. Just a bias towards grown alpha wide receivers. I like Justin Jefferson more than AJ Brown. Devontae Smith is sick, but AJ Brown is just like a tier above. So I'm not high on Devontae Smith this year. I think he's a great player. If you want to stack your teams with him, I'm gonna just go with AJ Brown and try and find a way to get different because everyone else who has Jalen Hurts with him is gonna have the same stack.
Well, if the champ is on AJ Brown, I need to start getting a little bit more of him there. I definitely like the idea of a Philly bounce back this year. How about your favorite stack? You said you're not necessarily going out of your way to stack AJ Brown with Hurts. What's your favorite stack to get in drafts?
Since I'm doing the zero RB, I gotta wait later till I have all my wide receivers to get a quarterback. So I like to and I like to stack them with Jalen Waddle.
Two is an interesting one because, a lot of times if you have, Tyreek or Waddle and like the drafters behind you, you can really push to some pretty nice prices. Are you always pushing him? Are you grabbing him at ADP? Like, Tua is a guy that if you don't have one of those Dolphins wide receivers, people don't want to take him unstacked.
Same thing as last year. For some reason, people don't want to draft him. He got hit really hard that one game a couple years back, and I don't know if people are afraid he's could get injured again. But I just think there's just so many great players around him that I want to be exposed to good teams good schedules that are going to score touchdowns.
What is your favorite galaxy brain thing to do in drafts this year? What do you think might be kind of a game theory move to better position your teams?
I like to reach to get a different combination, so that way I don't end up with the same lineup in all of my lineups. So I like to reach on one end of the second or third round. Sometimes it feels really bad because it feels like you're sacrificing a lot of EV, but
Yeah.
that's that's a that's something I like to do, but it's not something I do often, but it's my favorite thing to do whenever I'm like, "Hey, I keep getting the same guys here every time I need to switch it up."
Will you pull like Waddle up to the 1-2 turn because like prefer him to maybe some of those other guys?
Yeah, I'll pull Waddle up. I tried Waddle with, like, Drake London, tried Waddle with Garrett Wilson, I think,
Nice.
and AJ Brown.
It's ironic, right? Because you had last year on your winning team, you had like the chalk combo. It was Amon Ra and CeeDee Lamb, right? Like that was the pairing that everyone had. They both played in the same week 17 game, but they were also just the best players at the 1-2 turn. Like you weren't doing anything crazy when you took those guys. You're just like best available, best available. But this year, the strength of the 1-2 turn is nowhere close to having an Amon Ra, CeeDee Lamb type, level pick.
Not at all.
All right. What about your favorite late round dart, 17th, 18th round, maybe a guy who hasn't been getting drafted 100% of the time?
Jalen Tolbert? Yeah, I like Jalen Tolbert, and I like, now since Lab McConkey's gonna be day-to-day, or I'm not sure what's going on with him, Brendan Rice, but we'll see with Jalen Tolbert.
What do you think is the biggest edge in drafts this year? I mean, like, because I bet for you it has to be interesting to know, like, do I kind of just do my style, what I did last year? Do I need to adjust to a new landscape where the ADPs and the strategies are different? Like, how are you weighing all that?
I think the biggest edge goes to people who are spending time in the lab this year because it's still soft, the game's not figured out. I like to just read a lot of articles. It feels softer for some reason than last year. I'm not sure why with the drafts, but
Everyone's going to be like, "Hey, what is the champ reading? Where does the champ think the alpha, the secret sauce is? Like, who are some of your favorite, best ball thought leaders to check in on what they're doing?"
I'm keeping tabs on Corain, Sacrilegious. And obviously, I watch all of your stuff. I like 1 week season. I like reading their
Yeah.
articles, and they're not really known for being best ball.
I do a lot with them during the DFS season. Love what JM to win and those guys have over there. Well, guess what, Farid? I hopped us in a draft. The goal here is we're going to try to execute as many of your favorite things to do in drafts as possible. But we got some true influencer powers going here because we got the
Oh,
influencer
nice.
101. So the question is, do you have the stones to take AJ Brown at 101, or are we going to do something else?
Oh man, you know what? Let's do AJ Brown at 101, man. Fuck it.
Are we?
Let's
Let's
do
do it.
something different.
Let's do it. This will be the first time I would assume he's gone 101. Last week in the episode with Nez, we weren't able to get any of his preferences. Do you know what's also kind of fun about that is, I guess we could end up getting the Devontae Smith on that other side there too. Those two are now kind of hard to pair together. Let's have some fun here. AJ Brown 101 with the champ. I can already see the comments, Free. They are going to be triggered. AJ Brown over CeeDee Lamb over Christian McCaffrey. What's this guy doing?
I'm here for the goal of the video. I'm here for the purpose.
Look at you. You win your millions, and then you're all about the content. That's my kind of man right there. If you're in the middle of the board, right, like 6 or 7, then you can get AJ Brown and Waddle really easily. Is that your most frequented combo in rounds 1 and 2?
I'd say AJ Brown and Waddle, and I'd say Debo. I have a lot of AJ Brown with Debo.
Jalen Waddle, the dream is dead there. He goes at 15. I don't know if Dan O, the man 33 is listening to this, but he had to go ahead and get Jalen Waddle at 15. So the one thing that is going to be hard for us to do here is to get a Tua stack, unless we do something with like Achane and like a little backdoor stack.
Yeah, that's not pretty though, man, to be honest.
We're coming up on the 1-2 turn here. Achane does go. By ADP, we're looking at Ayuk, Evans, Devontae Smith, Neighbors, Kyron, Met. We do with these 2 picks.
We got to get Neighbors at least.
Yep.
We have to have some kind of differentiation that I haven't got AJ Brown with neighbors.
Yeah, that
And
is a hard one. Do you want to do Devontae and see if we could get Hurts to fall to the 4-5 turn?
let's try it.
If
Let's
there's
try it.
another idea, I'm open to it. I'm just trying to think of what is the best way to play like a 101 AJ Brown. It's probably to nail the super team.
Yeah, no, not a lot of people got the stones to take AJ Brown and get them both there. Like I think Reeves tried this last year, if I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken.
he did on my stream. Yeah. I guess the thing. All right, let's give it a shot. The thing is, I guess you could take AJ Brown in round 1, middle of round 1. You could take Devontae Smith middle of round 2, and then you'd reach for Hurts. I guess you could get Hurts in round 4. I guess the unique thing that we're playing for here is being able to have neighbors on this team with this stack. Is what would be kind of our big win for trying to pull off this reach.
Yeah, and we have to do it. The detour is now for Hurts and
Mm-hmm.
to find 2 other wide receivers that can make this lineup hang in there. So it's a 0 RB, and then we go for our running backs.
Man, I see Hurts fall a bunch, and normally the only person who grabs Hurts in the early to middle part of round 4 is the AJ Brown drafter. So we'll see if we can pull this off. The flash detour, which we're still going to be able to do, it could be a running back here if we do miss out on Hurts. Did you say you like ETN a good bit at that 4-5 turn?
Yeah, I like ETN. I've been drafting too much Tank Bigsby, but I like ETN as well. It's like Trevor Lawrence needs some help.
Yeah, I think he is a really nice price. I've been trying to get a little bit more Pacheco, but he's pricey. On Best Ball Breakfast on Monday, Dwayne and I took him kind of closer to the 3-4 turn. And I am been trying to get a little bit more of him. The sweat is on, though. We're at pick 44. We pick at 48. This was the guy I was eyeing if he'd go Hurts because he has the 3 wide receivers. He could kind of justify. He goes ETN. We got 3 more picks to dodge. I guess the CD Lamb drafter is another one to watch, right? If someone's going for that week 17 correlation. There goes Hurts. The dream is dead. The dream is dead. Do you know what's so cruel about that? It's the Tyreek Hill drafter who could be sitting on Tua, and they're the one that goes Hurts.
Sniped.
Yeah, we'll we tried it. They didn't let us have it. It's all good. What do you think makes sense for us to do here now? Do you want to do your detour, one of your flash detour here?
You could do a detour if you want to go Mahomes and do a double click and then get a stack that way. Or you could just wait for Danny Dimes.
Yeah, Mahomes goes. T. Higgins is the faller.
See what wide receivers we got.
Yeah, T. Higgins, Christian Kirk, Hollywood, Keenan, Rashi, Calvin Ridley.
Yeah, it feels bad, but it's either Higgins or Ridley for me, and then Josh Jacobs as a detour.
Okay, let's do Higgins as the faller here, and then the running backs you're looking at: Jacobs, James Cook, Joe Mixon. Should we grab Jacobs as the detour?
James Cook looks pretty nice too.
Yeah, I mean, I've been trying to get a little bit
because I like both of them.
Let's see.
I
want the champ. What does the champ want? Say it. Jacobs or Cook?
James Cook.
Done. All right. So we take our flash detour here. We get James Cook. We got our 2 Eagles wide receivers. No Jalen Hurts. Malik Neighbors, T. Higgins. That does open us up for Burrow as well. Burrow's ADP is 90. We pick at 96 and 97. So that could work out well. We're about to pick at the 6-7 turn here. A lot of different options we can go with. Xavier Worthy sliding in this draft. Kenneth Walker's here. Ladd. Brian Thomas, JSN. We were talking about pre-show a little bit. Tight end, Evan Ingram's down here a little bit more. Nothing really with quarterback that makes sense for us. What do you think the play is for the 6-7 turn?
I think we should reach for JSN. We don't have anyone from Chicago, but the bring back's not as important.
They take JSN from us.
That's brutal. He's listening. He can hear us.
It's a pretty big fall for Worthy, though, to the 6-12. I don't know if you have any interest in him.
And if he's gonna fall that much in ADP, yes.
Let's grab Xavier Worthy. What would you like to do with this next pick? The running backs, you got Walker, Montgomery, Kamara, then you're into Brian Thomas, Evan Ingram, Keon Coleman.
Honestly, I'd reach for Keon Coleman, but since it's not even that strong of a play, one of the running backs looks more appealing. I'd say Kenneth Walker is probably my favorite.
So if we look at, what we have been trying to do, we get our flash detour. I think we succeeded in that. We got AJ Brown. If we're getting Tua still TBD, we would probably have to get Mostert to kind of even consider it. Reaching to create different combinations. We definitely did that. We reached or pulled up AJ Brown. I think that one accomplished two of our initiatives here. Because if you do think about it, like where the ADPs are, you're now getting AJ Brown with a lot of different guys that aren't normally on his side of the board. And then Jalen Tolbert's our late round click. He would be a nice mini correlation, a nice little week 17 mini opposite that Philly. So we can keep tabs on him as well. What has been your tight end strategy? Who are some of your favorite tight ends to select?
I really just like Njoku, David Njoku. I feel bad clicking Chig, but I still like Chig and Juwan Johnson late. Otherwise, I'm trying to get one of the early guys like Kincaid or McBride.
All right, let's see. It does appear that we are going to wait. Where did Burrow go? Why did I miss this? Did Burrow go way early? Well, Joe Burrow went at pick 50. I didn't even notice this. How did I miss this? I was like, where is Joe Burrow? Jeez, I completely missed that. Let's see here. So your guy, David Njoku, I think this guy's auto drafting maybe. I don't know what he's doing. Do you want to get your guy Njoku as one of our first tight end here?
Yeah, we'll get our guy Njoku.
Yeah.
And then we can either go late stack with Danny Dimes or Jordan Love late stack with Musgrave, Dobbs, Wicks, even though Wicks is behind some guys. Depends on how strong you think Jordan Love is.
I'm with you on that because it's like we do need to set up some stacks, and we're basically running out of stack options. So getting a quarterback that we feel good about, I guess Jaden Daniels would be the other one, but it is hard to click Jaden Daniels over Jordan Love. Would Jordan Love be your preference here?
I like them both, but I think Jordan Love has a lot of weapons around him. Better weapons around him than Jaden Daniels.
Let's do this. Let's take Jordan Love here. I think that's a really smart suggestion. Like you said, with Musgrave, this is a team that's going to need another solid tight end. Maybe it's a 3 tight end build. And like you said, we got Dobbs, we got Wicks, we got Musgrave. If we want to get crazy at the end, you could do Bo Melton. So I think that was a good call. We
could have waited for Danny Dimes and gone with running back there. That was another option.
But like, we can't have Daniel Dimes as our QB1. We're gonna need a couple guys. I mean, at some point, we can't build it all around Danny Dimes.
That's true degeneracy. QB1, Danny Dimes.
So what else would you do in that instance? You can't just have one quarterback. What would be the other plan?
It'd be an ugly lineup, but I'd take probably Russ and Justin Fields.
Wow. So, but it sounds like you're liking that Steelers quarterback room.
Yeah, I want one of them. I mean, I can't get enough of. I don't really get either of them that much.
Yeah, I mean the Justin Fields rumors that he might be starting earlier. That's definitely pushed Fields up the board. Is that something? Or do you do that with any? Like, I guess I don't mind taking like 2 running backs from the same team. Obviously, 2 wide receivers. But I don't think there's ever been a time I've taken 2 quarterbacks from the same team. What kind of volume are you getting down? Are you playing all the nosebleed? Are you doing big dogs, mastiffs? What's the plan here?
Yeah, I'm trying to get as many as I can. I think I'm like halfway. I probably got about 200 drafts active, and I already finished about 250, so I'm maybe halfway. But I like across all platforms. I probably have over 500. I'm not sure.
We're about to be on the 10-11 turn. We got our 1 quarterback, 2 running backs, 5 wide receivers, 1 tight end. Decent pocket of the board here. Let's hope Wicks falls, man. Wicks falling to us on this Love team at 120 would be really nice. They do take Lockett. I think Wicks here on a naked love team is pretty nice. Running backs, you're looking at like Gus Edwards, Blake Corum, Ford, Chubb, Eckler. Tight ends, you got like Schultz, Komet. What do you think we do other than Wicks?
I would take Jerome Ford. We got Njoku, so we didn't get Tua or Waddle, but hey, we got Jerome Ford and Njoku.
Yeah, talk about Jerome Ford. He was one of Liam's favorite picks when he came on the show and did it. I was, at the time, pushing back on him. I feel like some things have broken his favor. Maybe Deontay Foreman, he had that scare. But Nick Chubb actually seems like he's trending in a pretty positive direction. How are you thinking about Jerome Ford right now?
I like Nick Chubb, but I have a rule in DFS where I won't have a certain percentage exposure over someone who has a certain type of injury.
We are on the 12-13 turn. I mean, Musgrave here, this is a sweat. Musgrave, I guess he's a little bit buried in the ADP, but he really ties this Jordan Love selection together if we can get him. We could go double Green Bay and go Marshawn Lloyd and Musgrave. I think we should for sure take Musgrave. Is there anything else you're seeing?
Yeah, I like Musgrave. Let's take Musgrave and then think about the other pick because that would be 3 from the same team, and then if we go 4, I think the I think it starts dropping off if you overstack, and we don't even have a bring back. So, what do you think?
Yeah, I don't mind it because of the cost. I think it's more like when you do a ton at the beginning of the draft, but I'm not opposed to passing on Marshawn Lloyd. I do think we should probably take a running back here. If you like Algier, McLaughlin, we mentioned Jalen Wright. Anything else you see?
I like Algier.
Right,
I like Algier or Jalen Wright.
Let's do Jalen Wright. Let's see if I didn't get him in time. I was toggling at the last second. We get Algier here. I think he's a strong pick. Should we take dimes here at the 14-15 turn just to make sure we're not completely boxed out? Because we don't really have a single other stacking option.
Yeah, doesn't matter. We just take dimes here. I don't care about ADP at this. What are we at, 170? This is where I stop. I don't even really use ADP at this point of the draft, to be honest.
I'm going to put Jones in here because I think we're doing that no matter what. I guess we said we did have a luxury pick. We could get to the 8 wide receivers here if we needed to. So yeah, I say we do Daniel Jones and Wan'Dale Robinson. What do you think?
Yeah, I like that one.
All right, we'll grab Jones, and now we're in much better shape. We don't have to stress getting boxed out at quarterback. We know we're going to get another tight end that doesn't have a week 10 bye week. We know we're going to add a 5th running back, and then it could be Tolbert if we want to do that, or something else. One other option. I don't know if you've given him much consideration. I think Theo Johnson is a pretty interesting late round tight end now too.
Yeah, I've been grabbing some shares of Theo this past week.
You could take Alexander Madison for old time's sake because that's what it takes to draft the winner, apparently.
Can't win without Madison, man.
All right, we're about to pick here. I would be pretty stoked with Estime at this price. What do you think?
Yeah, I think he only has 4 running backs and he's going to take Estime. That's what I think. But
or if he times out on Kendre.
Time out on Kendre. Come on, buddy.
He does. There it is.
He timed out on Kendre. Yeah. There we go. There's a slam dunk.
And I will say, Jonnu falls all the way. I guess it's 8 picks past ADP. We could do him as a little mini correlation with our Cleveland stuff. Or we could lock up Tolbert here.
Yeah, if Roman Wilson wasn't hurt, I think we should lock up Tolbert. If Roman Wilson wasn't hurt.
Yeah, I mean, you put Tolbert as one of your favorites. We did the Eagles stuff. Let's get that bring back here. I think we got to do it.
Okay, let's grab him.
And then we can figure it out with the tight end. I think, like we said, Theo Johnson, I think would be a nice pick if we needed. We'll have some fun options here for our last tight end pick.
Okay, there we go. We got one more pick. We're last to pick. This ain't the greatest lineup, It's not the best running back room or wide receiver room. I wouldn't typically fall in this lineup a lot, but I stuck true to Peter's goals.
I mean, these goals were your goals. You told me these were your favorite. Now you're turning on this roster, Farid. You're saying I would never draft this. These are all your favorite players, dude.
Well, I did draft it now, so that's a false statement. So I did draft it here with you now. But what
Dude,
I mean by that is that I haven't got it. I haven't fell on a lineup like this yet. That's what I mean by I wouldn't draft this lineup. Is that I haven't got this lineup yet or these combinations yet. We did take
Right.
AJ Brown round 101. IT.
There it is. We got to go out and get these grown ass men. It's going to get people really riled up in the comments because they're going to use it. How can you know you got to take CeeDee Lamb? We know, but we're having a little fun here in Best Ball Mania. And like you said, we're getting a team that is unique for both of us. And I think where I always feel good, even if you do weird stuff, I think there's always two things that are like the most important for me, right? Like we got to get the like positional allocation stuff right. We can't just like draft a bunch of one position and then keep drafting it or whatever. Like we got to spend our bullets. I think we've spent our bullets well. Even though we didn't get an elite quarterback, we get Jordan Love, who could be an elite quarterback this year. Even though we didn't get an elite tight end, we get David Njoku, who could make that leap. And then the second thing is just the correlation, right? We're making these bets on the Giants, on the Packers, on the Browns, on the Eagles. Like we have concentrated bets, and I like when you kind of mix and match those pieces together. So I think it's a good team.
It's different. This team's different for sure. But we
are losing some of our preferred tight end targets. Jonnu goes, although he was past ADP. Jawan goes. Theo Johnson goes. Gesicki goes. So we're gonna have to get a little creative here. There's still
Jared
some
Wiley,
good.
Brewer.
Is that your guy? Oh no! Don't make me take Jared Wiley.
How funny would that be if it made the finals when you told Kitchen that he'd be the only guy with Jared?
God, fucking Kitchen.
I mean, is Colby Parkinson a thing? Is Tyler Higbee just too old now?
Well, he's coming off an injury too. And I don't even think he's going to be ready to start the season. He's starting training camp on PUP list. And Jordan Rodriguez, the beat reporter for the Rams, said she's obviously the person who ID'd Puka and Kyron last year. She said Colby Parkinson is her sleeper for fantasy this year. Yeah, we don't have any specific correlations there. Not the end of the world. I mean, this is what happens when you're the very last pick at tight end, but I do think Parkinson is a solid pick for us if we just want to cover that bye week.
Nice. There we go. We get him. We'll cover the bye week with him.
All right, Farid. I'm gonna run down this team. I forgot. This was my 100th draft. I did the 100th draft with the champ. Let me read this down, and I want to get your final thoughts on it. Jordan Love and Daniel Jones at quarterback. Running back James Cook, Kenneth Walker, Jerome Ford, Tyler Algier, and Audric Estime. Wide receivers, A.J. Brown, Malik Neighbors, Devontae Smith, T. Higgins, Xavier Worthy, Dontavian Wicks, Wan'Dale Robinson, and Jalen Tolbert. And three tight ends, David Njoku, Luke Musgrave, and Colby Parkinson. Final review from the defending Best Ball Mania champ.
I low-key kind of like this lineup. Running back room could be better, but other than that, I actually kind of like this lineup.
Yeah, what are the... we did obviously get a decent amount of your favorites here. Even it sounds like Jordan Love, David Njoku, some of those guys, secondary targets for you.
Jordan Love and Njoku are secondary targets?
No, you didn't list them as your favorite plays, but it seems like guys you're stoked to draft.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Jordan Love, CJ Stroud, Njoku's an elite tight end. That's how I'm drafting as if he's elite.
Any other thoughts about this team and what we did? Obviously, it started out getting real weird, grabbing AJ Brown 101. But other than that, we weren't too weird in this draft. I think we nailed this. Like you said, running back could be slightly stronger, but here's the thing. I think James Cook and Kenneth Walker are really solid picks, like in that range, if you're going to do the kind of hyper dead zone thing. Jerome Ford is a guy we're going to get early season production from. We basically are going to need one of Algier or Estime to hit in a big way. Like that's what unlocks this team. The wide receivers are awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, like AJ Brown, Davers, Devontae, Higgins, Worthy, Wicks, Wandell, Tolbert. Like, we're jacked up there. Feel fine about tight end. Feel fine about quarterback. This does come down to the Ford Algier estimate. Can we get like 1 to 2 big hits there?
Yep, we took the high T Rich rebar approach, trying to get Jalen Hurts with our double stack. If we can unlock Algier, it could really send our lineup.
I love it. This was a ton of fun. Loved drafting with you here. Farid, let the people know if there's anything you want to plug here. Where can they check you out?
Just at Shahid Farid on Twitter. That's where I just post everything. I'll be coming out some music and some new mixes, and I'll post them on there. And yeah, that's all I'll be working on is just football. That's the only thing that matters to me now is football. So I'm super stoked to keep drafting, and hope you guys do well. And it was great drafting with you, Pete.
Yeah, thank you to Farid. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. We're going to have a lot more videos coming down the pike the rest of August, getting you guys ready for all of your drafts. Thanks again to the champ. Do what he says. Win those monies this year on Underdog Fantasy. You guys can always use promo code Pete for a $250 deposit match. For Farid, I'm Pete. We'll see you guys next time in the Deposit Kingdom.